Welcome to Reality is where words do come to life. Listen to me. I find that we are living in difficult times right now. Gas prices go up and they go down. Groceries are ridiculously priced. Rent is a mortgage for 900 plus square feet. You can't even afford to buy a house now because things are so expensive. You have to pick and choose what bills you want to pay when you want to pay them because of the financial status that some of us are sitting in. Not by choice, but by force. Jobs are not treating you right. You're not getting your fair share. Minimum wage is not making it. We have people that are here that's looking for a better quality of life. But yet we have people that are born here that don't have any quality of life. We have elected officials who sits in the seat behind closed doors who make decisions on constituent lives, not caring the outcome, not caring how it affects them, but blowing money constantly. We put ourselves in positions of shutdown because a bunch of grown people cannot come to common solutions that can meet the needs of the people. But yet and still at election time, we put on TV ads. We want to bombard neighborhoods and bombard houses, ringing doorbells and passing out palm cards and passing out flyers and getting petitions signed. So your asses can occupy a seat supposedly to represent the people, but you represent yourselves. You get in seats and you have selective amnesia like Brandon Johnson. You lose your job. Federal government says go to the unemployment office or go online, fill out for your unemployment paperwork. You get $800 plus every 2 weeks. That's the rule, right? Go to the website to fill out your link card. Depending on what you put in there will determine whether or not you are qualified for a link. You got a family to feed, you got kids to feed, you got a house to maintain, and no money to maintain it. Because you had a savings, you end up being sick. Because of you being sick, your job decided to terminate your employment, or they decided to close down because financially they was not able to sustain their businesses. So you're out of a job. We have people who have served their country faithfully in every aspect of serving their country. They come home, they get nothing. We have people, because they lost their job and the government was not willing to help, they end up being homeless, living up under viaducts, sleeping in their cars, sleeping behind buildings, behind dumpsters, sleeping in parks, in tents, tent cities. The hood housing list is extremely long. Been that way for years, and I'm 63, and it's been that way since have known about hood. We have spent money sending to other countries to take care of them, but you won't take care of people on the United States soil. We have ignorant Republicans who only see for themselves, don't care about nobody else. The laws that they're changing, the voter laws, they're trying to make it easy so Republicans can skate through when they do something wrong and not be held accountable. Yet y'all want to tie our asses to the fence when we do minor things, selling loose cigarettes, selling a gallon of milk, whatever it may be. We get the maximum. Prisons across this country is filled with black and brown. No white people. Judges steal, they lie, they manipulate, they deceive. State's attorneys manipulate, they lie, they deceive. Police officers, they manipulate, they lie, they deceive. They take life, but they get a slap on the wrist. So you say, well, why are you saying all this? Because I want to paint a picture of how it's upside down, how our treatment is so wrong and so unfair. We have people that's still recovering from the pandemic, trying to get their head out of financial hole. Yet and still, Pritzker approved $130 million for illegal immigrants. They fixed it so they can get permits to drive. They have been living in police stations for free, smelling them up, laying on the floor when y'all would not even allow the homeless to lay in the police station. They've been trying to invade communities and take the centers and facilities where people of color live. But you won't put them in the white communities, but you'll push them in our communities. They get here, they get Rockwilders on the blocks. They don't chain their dogs up. They think they are entitled. Now, you may say, Renee, you're being discriminated. No, I'm not. I'm not. If you come here and work just as hard as I do, we don't have no problem with that. If the government would take all the money they're taking for illegal immigrants and get them homeless off the street, get the HUD housing listing down and put those who rightfully deserve to go in there first in the HUD housing, then maybe and only maybe I would consider something different. But until then, I would never consider anything different. They're getting $1,500 every 2 weeks. Free money. We only get $800 for unemployment. They're getting rental. They're getting houses. They're getting jobs. Just walking into jobs, good paying jobs. And here you have people who lived in this country can't get a job. People that's coming out of prison that need a second chance can't get a job. Organizations that's supposed to be open for those who come out of prison have now closed their doors to inmates coming out of prison who needs that housing for parole purposes, and they have closed them down and have been giving them to the immigrants. This is so backwards. You clean up around somebody else's door, but you won't clean around United States' door. You'll fix somebody else's problem, but you won't fix United States' problem. You will pay everybody else except for paying the people in the United States. You will shortchange those who live here, but you will open the bank for those who don't. Help it make sense. Brandon Johnson has got more than enough of money. Not one time that he said he would put into community. Not one time he said he would invest in the kids. Not one time he said he would get the homeless off the street. Not one time did he offer a school or two to get the homeless off the street. It's about to be cold. But the most amazing thing to me is Tony Prepwinkle pushed Brandon Johnson in there. When Frederick Collins was running for mayor, they did everything they could along with the Chicago Board of Election to get Frederick Collins off the ballot. Started showing the proof and everything. But nobody wants to pay attention to that. Nobody wants to pay attention to that. So Tony Prepwinkle has been very quiet. She's the Cook County Board President, and she ain't saying a word. Brandon Johnson ain't even saying a word. He's pissed off abundance of people, and he really don't care. But let me give y'all a little 411 that's going to make it a 911 for you. He didn't do nothing when he was commissioner, so why in the hell would you think that he would be an awesome mayor? He didn't have a clue. He didn't have a plan. He didn't have a purpose, and he didn't have a heart whatsoever. See, we pick the wrong people and put them in the wrong position and thinking they're going to do the right thing. And again, all they care about themselves. And he has shown that from day one. So I'm sure a lot of y'all would think y'all should have kept Lori Lightfoot. You would have had a better handle on some things. Money would not have been blown like it's being blown. He ain't in his 100 days, and he done tore this city up. Crime is not down. No community is any better. Since he's been in office, he ain't stood up and said nothing. He don't have nothing to say. Period. Nothing. And if you're going to blame Brandon Johnson, you need to blame Pritzker too, because he's taking his authority and he's giving him $130 million, but y'all cut off stuff, the rental assistance for people who suffer from COVID. But now, miraculously, you got $130 million for illegal immigrants. How does that work? Help me to understand. See, these are the notes that we need to be taking as voters, registered voters. I'm going to say this again so anybody who listens to this will understand. Every elected official in every chair and every seat is your employee, and you are the employer. And your voice has a right to be heard, and it should be heard. Every time they ask for your vote, you have a right to put them in the seat, and you have a right to take them out. So you need to pay attention to that. But all this ish that we're dealing with, it needs to stop. It really needs to stop. And nobody wants to hear this type of conversation. The news won't cover it. They won't carry it. They won't acknowledge it. And people that know it to be true won't say a word. There are people that's been suffering. And then last week, here is my problem with politicians. My friend called them politricks. It's all about politricks because they trick you in believing that they care and they really don't give a damn. Jason Irvin's wife last week, and I know Immigrants used to do this too. She gave out turkeys, right, to the community. But when you're doing something for a catch, you ain't doing it for the right reason, bottom line. It was told to those that was getting turkeys, 1 turkey per person. You need to be able to walk or drive up to get the turkey. Now, here are senior citizens that are on canes, walkers, wheelchairs, and crutches. They can't walk, so they ride with somebody else. The person driving is a senior, the person in the passenger seat is a senior. They both are there with 2 different residents, and they both want a turkey. But she makes a clear statement. I said what I said. If you can't get the turkey, you don't get no turkey. And in order to get the turkey, you got to sign my petition. That's bribery. And bribery is illegal. See, this the ish that needs to be addressed. And this the ish that needs to be stopped. She don't even need to deserve to be a congressperson. She don't deserve to hold nothing with that nasty ass attitude. Not one thing. And when our elected officials do not listen to the cries of the people, they turn a deaf ear and a blinded eye, we need to stop it. We are in chaos and confusion. They want to be right and they're so wrong. And half of them should be locked up for the mishandling and misappropriation of funds, the deception and manipulation. But yet and still we put those in charge to tell those who actually do criminal acts and those who don't do criminal acts whether they should go to jail or not and how many years they should get, when those who given the time frame are just as crooked as the person who stands before them. Help me understand the separation. There is no separation whatsoever. And this right here, I have a problem with. State's attorney's office is jacked up. Tom Dart, Cook County Jail is jacked up, and Tony Prepmick's name is on that too. But she's been extremely quiet. Now, you pulling the strings behind the doors, she's held accountable too. Cook County Board President. Y'all need to know your people, the position they play, what their powers are, what they can and cannot do. And because she's quiet, don't mean that she's not accountable. Not whatsoever. These are some things you need to think about. And it's time to think about them now. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.